regime or the government of Iran with these people. And we have to, I mean, it's very easy to go into history and to the books to see the condition of every Iranian 30 years ago.
يعني لكن تعتقدين أنه لو ابنك الأكبر رضا بهلوي أو رضا بهلوي كما تقولون أراد أن يعود مرة أخرى للحكم في إيران، هل ستسانديه؟ هل تعتقدين أنه سيلقى قبولا في الشارع الإيراني؟ قرأنا عدة أخبار حول ربما اعتزامه أو رغبته في ذلك.
You know what's important and what my son has said since 30 years ago is, and he believes in it, and he had one line and he continues in that one line, is to get the help and the cooperation. I mean, we should get all together outside of Iran and put aside our political ideologies. He believes in democracy, in human rights, in the keeping the territorial integrity of Iran, and if hopefully one day Iran is free, it's up to the Iranians to decide whether they want a constitutional monarchy or any sort of democratic republic. It's up to the people to decide. This is his belief, and this is also my own belief.
يعني جلالة الإمبراطورة، يعني ما نراه الآن في الشارع الإيراني، هذه الانتفاضة في الشارع الإيراني كثير منها من هؤلاء الشباب الذين يحاربون أو يعني يتظاهرون من أجل مزيد من الحرية، مزيد من الليبرالية، مزيد من الديمقراطية في إيران. هل تتوقعين يعني نجاح لهذه الانتفاضات أم أنه سيتم قمعها؟ يعني شهدتي مقتل ندى مثلا هذه الفتاة الإيرانية الشابة، تتوقعين نجاح هذه الانتفاضات؟
I really hope that they will be successful. It's not only young people, and it's not only, there are also older people, and there are also some religious people who are against what's happening. It's not going to be easy with this oppressive government, because no matter what, they want to stay in power, and there is always a danger that the guardians of the revolution will take over as a military dictatorship. But I think that the Iranian people of all level of life have tasted this regime for 30 years, and they don't want this anymore. And I'm sure even with all the oppression, it will not stop. And I hope that really the world will support these freedom-loving Iranian people, to support them. But when I say supporting them, it's moral support, because if they feel that the world cares for them, it gives them courage.
يعني بصراحة what went wrong أو يعني فيما أخطأ الشاه؟
Well, you know, there is no country and there is no leader who doesn't do, sometimes there are mistakes or shortcomings. But as I said, the shortcomings or the dissatisfaction were not at the level to have such a horrible revolution. You know, it's different subject as I think back, because for a while Iran was progressing economically very well, and for a period the economy was not going ahead well, so people got unhappy, or there was some inflation, and my husband wanted first politically you know, to economically to advance Iran and to raise the level of illiteracy and slowly open up the political scene. And of course there was a lot of freedom in Iran, a lot of social freedom. Let us not forget that we had the Soviet Union, it was the Cold War, and they always had the dream to take over Iran and get to the warm water of the Persian Gulf, and there were many groups which were against.
من الواضح أنه كان هناك تحالف بين المعارضة في اليسار ورجال الدين في نفس الوقت، يعني كيف تحالف معا؟
They got together even if in 1963 when what we call the White Revolution, the land reform and the equal rights for women, and the Khomeini and the religious people and the communists were outside. Why were they together? Because they didn't want the monarchy to do anything positive. And they got together, you know, many groups of communist groups which were attached to the Soviet Union, the Tudeh party, those who were Maoists, those who were Fedain Khalq, or they believed in Mujahid Khalq, which we call Marxist Islamic, because at the same time they were Marxist, at the same time Islamic, and they went under the leadership of Khomeini by thinking that if Khomeini, the Shah, leaves, they will take over. I mean, sure, the communists were sure. And I always say that, of course, when the movement started, the slogans of Allah Akbar were much stronger than if they had to shout long live Lenin or Stalin. So, and those who were working with Khomeini, and even Khomeini himself, they said he believes he's a holy man, and some people compared him to the Gandhi-like person. When he comes back, he believes in human rights, he believes in women's rights, he's going to go in the city of Rome and to be a religious leader. And Khomeini used them all, and he got rid of many of them afterwards, because unfortunately they killed thousands in the beginning of the revolution of the people, and many of those who were communists and leftists who were supposedly anti-American imperialism or Western imperialism, where are they now? They are all in Europe and America. So unfortunately, you know, I say there were shortcomings when we didn't see the dissatisfaction, the government maybe didn't see it, and also the mistake of the government and maybe ourselves, and also the biggest mistake of those people who believed that Khomeini will bring them happiness and a better life.
لكن اسمح لي جلالتك، يعني الاكسترافاجنس او يعني هذا البذخ، هذه الصوره التي كانت تنقل للعالم بهذا البذخ الذي كنتم تعيشون فيه، سواء في القصور التي كانت ترمم، احتفالات ليس فقط عرسك ولكن ايضا احتفالات التتويج، اعتقد عندما احتفلتم بمرور عدد من القرون على عهد او عصر عائله بهلوي، كل هذه الاحتفالات، فستان كريستيان ديور، كل هذا الانفاق البذخي فيما كان هناك فقر مدقع في ايران، يعني هذا التفرقة الكبيرة أزعجت الكثيرين جدا داخل إيران.
You know, it's not so much that, because, you know, of course, those who were against were making too much publicity about the festivities of Persepolis or the coronation. When I got crowned as a queen, for the Iranian women was very important, and I always said when the Shah put the crown on my head, as if he had put the crown on the head of every Iranian woman. And the festivities of Persepolis, we were celebrating 2,500 years of monarchy, of culture, of civilization. There were many things happening there that the foreign press didn't want to write about. There were so many schools built, so many roads built, and there was the first international conference on religion. All the religion of the world got together, and they spoke about Iran in all the countries of the world. There were exhibitions, there were books being published. But you know, there was the foreign animosity, and I tell you when. It started in 1973 and 4, when the price of oil raised. From then on, all the media of the West almost was against what happened in Iran. Yeah. And always in the last 30 years I said, if you cared about human rights, what did you remain quiet these last 30 years? And you know, I saw lately, I mean I knew it, an interview with my husband and Mike Wallace, who you know of CBS. He asked my husband whether he wants to hear what the CIA has said about him. And my husband said yes, and CIA had said that he's a brilliant man, that he's megalomaniac, and he disregards the interest of America, and he's an uncertain ally. And another thing was that a lady who was in Iran, apparently I heard lately, he said when the Shah said that we are not going to listen to the blue-eyed people, we realized that he's not really our friend, and we were trying to find someone else to fight against.
So you see the hands of the U.S. policy here.
There is also, I said, definitely, because there are more and more books